What's up, guys? Thanks as always for supporting the show. It would mean a lot to me if you would take a second to scroll down and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any more of our videos. Also, make sure you follow us all over social media so you don't miss any of our content or show announcements. All right, let's get into our film session for today. We're actually starting in Boston from the Bucks game. This was stuff that I covered in yesterday's show, but I wanted to I just basically drop all these clips in a folder, and I just didn't have a chance to do Tim's tape yesterday, so I just bumped it into today. So first of all, this is an example these are examples of all of the mistakes that Milwaukee made when they lost control of the game against Boston. So as you can see, 82-80, minute 39 left. This is a game that is there for the taking. Bobby Portis misses a little right shoulder fade. We go the other end, and I talked yesterday about the interchange that takes place on a switch. So here's Derek White. We have Xavier Tillman going to set the screen. Giannis is on Derek White. Bobby Portis is in the switch. I talk all the time about the difference between an aggressive switch and a switch. On an aggressive switch, screen comes, Portis would run out and meet Derek White out here. Specifically so that Derek White doesn't have that interchange to take advantage of where he can take a look at a three-point shot. Instead, Bobby Portis sits back on his heels. So when the switch happens, again, Tillman's rolling. Giannis is going to go with him. Bobby's sitting back on his heels behind the three-point line. Derek White's like, please and thank you. I'll just go ahead and rise up into this three over the top. He had just hit one over here, too, on an offensive rebound. The Bucks were actually up 80-79. So, Derek White's just hit a three. That can't be the possession where you're lazy on a switch and you concede an easy pull-up jump shot off the dribble. This was one of the wildest defensive plays I've ever seen from a guard. How about Derek White single-handedly stopping a Dame Giannis ball screen? So here comes our Dame Giannis ball screen. Dame gets downhill. Derek White stonewalls the drive. We have a pitch back to Giannis. Look at Derek White. Meets Giannis up top and blocks him. That was an unbelievable defensive play from Derek White. Here's that corner crash that I talked about yesterday. So Jordan Walsh again. So we're loading up on the strong side for a Tatum post up. Watch Giannis and Bobby Portis. They are completely keyed in and help, and no one's paying attention to Jordan Walsh. Tatum draws that double team. Derek White ends up taking his third three. Watch Jordan Walsh though. Bobby Portis and Giannis both key on Xavier Tillman. Jordan Walsh, game plan discipline. Again, corner crashing is a huge part in the modern NBA of winning on the margins. Jordan Walsh just comes flying in, gets the offensive rebound, put back. Big time play. A lot of hustle plays going Boston's direction at the tail end of this one. Here's another loose ball. So Derek, kick out to Jordan Walsh. Derek White, loose ball. Okay, so here you go. On the loose ball, who's got the position? Gary Trent Jr. is closer to the ball, and he's a better athlete who's bigger than Peyton Pritchard. But he's flat-footed, and Peyton's being active. Peyton beats all of them to the basketball. Look at that. Once again, just getting outworked, and you're the team that is at the talent disadvantage that needs to play harder. This was that crazy Peyton Pritchard prayer to end the third quarter that went in. Just it really has developed a reputation as being one of the best end of quarter players in the league. This was where it all went south. This was basically the dagger. So a blitz of Jayson Tatum, or of Jaylen Brown, up on the right wing. So Portis is on Cornette. We're getting that Finland action, right? So Jaylen Brown's going to back screen for Pritchard before he comes off the DHO. But as, actually it was just more of a ball screen than a DHO. But essentially, as this ball screen happens, Portis is going to trap. But once you trap here, the most important thing for you to do is to contain the ball and then to pressure the ball so that the pass that comes out of this, whether it's a skip pass or it's something to Cornette, is deflected or lobbed so that you can rotate out of it. The worst thing you can do is not even contain the ball. And Jaylen Brown just splits Bobby Portis. Just a really bad blitz. Now you're just completely fucked. It's a 5-on-3. Pritchard ends up wide open in the right corner, and that ends up being the dagger. So again, you're up by 1 with roughly 2 minutes left in the third quarter, and you get out hustled and out executed on both ends of the floor, and you end up all of a sudden down 13 in a matter of like 3 minutes. And that really is the thing, is like Giannis and the Bucks, they're hanging on for dear life. We're hanging with the Boston Celtics. We can do this, guys. And then it's like they let go. And it's because unless you make a habit, I mean, habit is the key word, meaning like it is almost instinctual through just relentless work and attention to detail over a large sample size, it becomes a habit for you to do the right thing. Versus when you play lazy and then all of a sudden in a big game, you have to be sharp. You can be sharp for a spurt. You can be sharp for a quarter, sharp for 2 quarters, maybe even 3 quarters. But eventually you're going to like kind of just go back to what you are at your core of your being, which is an unserious basketball team like the Milwaukee Bucks, and they end up dropping this game. All right, into Orlando. This was the ghost screen action that we all knew was going to happen a lot this year for Paolo and Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. So KCP is going to run through. He's going to set the ghost screen for Paolo, draw 2 to the ball, see? And again, what causes the ghost screen to function is we're taking advantage of the hedge. So Tyrese Halliburton is, in this case, going to hedge. Why? Because KCP is going to set a screen. So if Halliburton doesn't hedge and Nesmith gets screened, if Halliburton stays glued to the bottom side of KCP, Paolo Banchero is going to get... Oh, I went too far forward. Sorry, guys. If that screen gets set and Halliburton does not hedge, Paolo is going to get downhill this way, and now you're in real trouble. So Halliburton has to hedge out. Here's our hedge. So Halliburton runs out there for the specific purpose of stopping Paolo from turning the corner. But then he's got to recover to KCP. He's slow. KCP's a good movement shooter who can knock the shot down, so they have to rotate from the weak side. Andrew Nembhard rotates over. Obi Toppin's going to rotate over. Ends up generating a wide open 3 for Anthony Black in the right corner. And shout out to Anthony Black. He misses this one, but keeps his confidence because he actually does make that one. I apologize. But he ends up hitting another huge 3 he misses another corner 3 later on in the fourth quarter, but then he ends up hitting the game winner in the left corner. So corner 3-point shooting for Anthony Black was a big one in this particular game. Another KCP ghost screen, same kind of concept. Oh, wait, nope. We got the KCP ghost screen is on the next possession. So this was that play that I talked about in the game breakdown yesterday where randomly, fourth quarter, Magic down 5 minutes left. This is basically a crunch time possession, even though it won't log as a crunch time possession for another 5 seconds. But Wendell Carter Jr., Anthony Black, cleared side ball screen. How about the second-year player getting an opportunity to run some action? Engages the screen defender, makes the pocket pass, gets Wendell Carter a good roll, and Wendell Carter draws a foul. Really nice play from Anthony Black. Here's the KCP ghost screen. I apologize for the confusion earlier. All right, so we have Paolo. KCP cuts through, ghost screen, hedge, slip, right? That draws the wide open 3 for Jalen Suggs. Now, as you can see, Pascal Siakam is actually keyed in on Suggs, but this is a bad hedge from Halliburton because he doesn't actually cut him off. The entire purpose of the hedge for Halliburton is to stop the drive. Now you've done the worst of both worlds. You've left your defender wide open and you haven't contained the ball. Paolo easily gets downhill. That forces Pascal to step over and help. Paolo's got 2 options here. He can go to Anthony Black in the right corner or Jalen Suggs in the left corner. He ends up going to Suggs. He knocks down the shot. All right, that's the one he misses. Okay. This is the problem with me clipping a bunch of clips yesterday than to hit on today's show. There's going to be a little bit of a mental gap there. I apologize, guys. All right, now we're moving on to Dallas and Minnesota. These are plays from today. This was a cool little Chicago action that the Timberwolves ran that got Julius Randle wide open 3. I love when teams run 3-man action that keep both of their stars involved. It just makes them so much harder to guard. As you can see, it kind of gets downhill and draws PJ Washington in help. That's Julius's defender. The kickback gets Julius Randle a wide open 3. Love how much more often the Mavericks have been running Luka off of off-ball action instead of just having him bring the ball up the floor and deal with ball pressure. Again, Jaden McDaniels, when he gets down here, has no chance against Luka, but in the open court, he can wear him down with speed and just poking at the basketball. So just ease that up on him, run him off this off-ball action. Functions just like a ball screen, right? Now Jaden is in trail position. Gafford can roll. It's the same function as a ball screen. Obviously, Mike Conley's not going to stay away from Klay Thompson, so he's only stunting. He stays home, catches Jaden McDaniels crawling up his back, gets a little floater in the and one. I talked to you guys about how I thought Spencer Dinwiddie with the Lakers was actually a really, really good defender of guards. I thought this was a good lock and trail possession. Again, gets a little bit of distance, but look at the closing speed and the length to bother the shot. Watch the length. He's got super long arms. Great contest. And look at the drift. Look at the drift from Dante. He forces him to change his shot and drift and lean to his left with a really good pursuit from behind. Forces a miss. Back to the left and a missed short and left. Probably not a coincidence. Julius Randle drawing help from the post. Really nice shot creation example. We're in a spaced out look. This is another one of those small ball looks where there's no non-shooter on the floor. Julius goes to work against Derek, picks up his dribble, but catches Klay Thompson. This is rim pressure, right? Like, even though they're not double teaming, it's instinctual for defenders when they see a guy get into the paint to kind of suck into the paint. Julius does a really nice kick out pass to Dante DiVincenzo and knocks down the three. Here's those two plays that I talked about where Lively's operating as the passing fulcrum at the top of the key for off-ball action. They've been doing a lot of this with bench groups with Luka off the floor. So again, fake dribble handoff to Hardy that flows into the wide screen for Kyrie, who then cuts off Lively. But this allows Lively to basically set another screen for Kyrie and just pivot into him, and he gets another wide open layup. Again, generating easy baskets without having to rely on your superpowers as often as you would otherwise. And then here's the one in the second half that I thought was really cool. So once again, Lively at the top, off-ball action. We have Najee Marshall screening for Kyrie. Dinwiddie's just staying in the left corner. But watch Luka. He's got a top lock here. So again, we talk about this a lot. Jaden McDaniels is trying to stop Luka from coming off of this top side from Lively. So he's sealing the top side. So Luka is now pushing Jaden as high as he can to try to create a passing angle for Lively to throw the ball in here. He does. Lively throws a perfect pass. That forces Anthony Edwards to help. Now we get our beautiful behind the back pass from Luka to Spencer Dinwiddie in the corner. Beautiful, beautiful work. Once again, Luka Doncic getting to generate a shot without having to put the ball in the full time. Here's Derek Lively doing a really nice job on Anthony Edwards on a switch. The beautiful thing with Derek Lively is his length to contest pull-up jumpers to make Ant skeptical about his ability to get the shot off while also being able to play back far enough to contain the drive. Now he's like kind of indecisive about what he wants to do. And like even here, like he gets a little separation and he might take the shot, but Derek Lively's got enough length that he's like, I'm not sure I got enough separation. So he ends up having to give it up. Ends up being a heave from Jaden McDaniels. Really nice defense from Derek Lively. Here's an example of off-ball relocation being valuable. So offensive rebound, yet another Derek Lively offensive rebound. He's such a monster in this game. All right, so Dante DiVincenzo's guarding Quentin Grimes. He's keyed in on the ball, right? The hardest part about off-ball defense is being able to track man and ball. He thinks Quentin Grimes is at the top of the key. Still thinks Quentin Grimes is at the top of the key. What you can't see off camera is Quentin Grimes is relocating. There he goes. He's relocating, taking advantage of Dante turning his head, catches him slipping, gets a wide open look. That is why off-ball player movement is so valuable. All right, moving on to the Warriors. This was just a ridiculous example of Gary Payton's ability to dig down on ball handlers. Watch Gary Payton digging down as Brandon Ingram and I want to say Jordan Hawkins make drives to the rim. So dig, boom. See how he gets down on CJ, recovers. Now Jordan Hawkins is going to drive. Watch how fast Gary Payton shoots down and gets the jump ball. Boom. It's so much speed to cover ground. I thought this was just a beautiful example of split cut action that the Warriors ran. So we're going to go to Draymond in the post. Okay. Watch this play develop. So we're going to go to Draymond in the post. Then the classic Warriors split cut is the guy who makes the post entry just screens away for the guy at the top of the key, right? Goes to screen. This time Kuminga actually screens. Buddy Hield gets a little bit of an angle on this slip that draws Zion Williamson and help. Extra pass to Kyle Anderson forces Jordan Hawkins to rotate. Probably a bad closeout from Jordan Hawkins. You just make Kyle Anderson take that three, but Lindy Waters ends up getting a wide open three out of it. Beautiful, beautiful split cut basketball. I thought this was a really, really pretty set that they ran to get Brandon Podziemski a wide open layup. So Draymond sets a wide screen to get Lindy Waters the catch. We're going on another split cut, right? But this is a variation of split cut, right? So we're making the post entry to Draymond, but on the post entry, Trayce Jackson-Davis back screens for Brandon Podziemski, gets a wide open layup. Really pretty stuff. This is the concept of turning a good look into a great look. So we're playing basketball here, going back to the post, same split cut action, right? This time CJ McCollum does a better job of navigating the screen, so it's not open. It flows into the next phase of the split action, which is Trayce screening for Lindy. Lindy's got a decent look here, but Zion throws a closeout. Zion's a freaky athlete. So Lindy's like, don't really like the look. So let's see if we can get a better one. There's 13 seconds on the shot clock. Swing to Moody. Moody's got a look. Don't really like the look. If I throw it to Pods there, he's going up against the center underneath the basket. I don't think this is the best option. Let's see if we can't drive this closeout. He drives right. Pods relocates. Now you get a wide open three. So again, the diligence to turn down a couple of okay shots ends up getting you a great shot that goes in. I've talked a lot about beating ball pressure with a swing pass, then making the swing pass guy hit the roll man. This I thought was a great example of that. So like, you can see that dynamic taking place. Lindy Waters is our ball handler. Trayce Jackson-Davis is going to go set a ball screen. The Pels are going to put two on the ball. Okay. When the Pels put two on the ball, the roll man gets open. But the problem is when the roll man's open, there's ball pressure here. So that becomes a difficult pass to make. Podziemski, as a swing pass man, is not being ball pressured. He can make the pass. He hits Trayce. Now we have our weak side 2-on-1. Moody cuts, get an easy layup. Beautiful basketball from the Golden State Warriors. And then this was that crazy Jonathan Kuminga block to lob sequence. Blocks CJ McCollum at the rim, gets the rebound, runs it down, patiently pass fake, boom, dunk. I know you Warriors fans really enjoyed that one last night. That was a really, really fun game to watch.